Okay, I'm kind of excited for this one because this is the first product from Nothing that I've ever tested. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Nothing Headphone 1, which is probably one of the most interesting pair of over-ear headphones that has ever come out. If you don't know, Nothing is actually the name of a tech brand that is based in London, and it comes from this guy, Carl. He helped start OnePlus, which was a different tech brand, and now he has moved on to create his own brand, and the entire brand tenets are around doing tech that is actually visually interesting and unique, and having an outside-of-the-box perspective to what is very traditionally the slab phone, everything white, everything black aesthetic. And obviously, as a product design, this is definitely a big swing because there is no other headphones on the market that look like this. But to be honest, that's really only half the story. I have been following Nothing for a while, and I'm actually very familiar with their aesthetic. It is very technical while having a touch of retro flair. There's a lot of extra maximalist elements when it comes to the tech space, and they use a lot of transparent design in their product design because I think it is a bit more interesting. It definitely stands out, and it gives you a little bit of the inner workings of the technology that you're actually using every day. And I mean, these headphones are no different. I have the black version right here, and you can see the translucent ear cup right up at the top. But then it's layered on a base of actually really high quality aluminum that you would see out of something like Apple. The headband itself is plastic, but it is a really rigid multi-layer plastic that feels really, really high quality. And when you look at the back of the headphones, even the controls are really different. You have actually a roller ball right here that goes side to side. You have a paddle right here that goes forward and back. And then on the actual ear cup itself, you have an extra button right here that can be programmed to do multiple things. And this took me forever to find. On the inside of the ear cup, you actually have the Bluetooth pairing button right there, which is nice because it's hidden away because you don't use it very often. So if you're watching this video, you've seen probably a ton of reviews and images of these, and I'm not actually going to talk about the design anymore because I think what's more interesting about these headphones is the sound quality. In case you are new to this channel, which in that case, please go ahead and subscribe. I make videos like this every single week. I am an avid user of the AirPods Maxes. I did not have these headphones for years because I thought they were overpriced and not worth it. And then I finally caved at the beginning of this year, and I've never looked back. These are the best sounding, best feeling headphones I've ever tried in my life. And I have tried so many different pairs. And to be honest, when I compare the AirPods Max to almost every other pair of modern headphones, the Nothing Headphone 1 is probably the closest sounding pair of headphones that I've tested. Now, there's a couple of reasons to this. Nothing has partnered with a really reputable brand to work on the sound profile of these headphones, and I think that it's really paid off because the thing that I care the most about when it comes to over-ear headphones is soundstage and clarity, and that is something that the AirPods Max have done better than any other player out there. And I know that this is probably an unpopular opinion because the Sony XM5 and 6s are well regarded as like the best headphones on the market, but I don't think that they sound detailed at all, and I think that the soundstage is actually very muffled. So when I wear the headphones, they actually fit really well around my ears, and there's not too much pressure on the side of my head, but the majority of the pressure is right here on the top band, and every single time I've worn these headphones for the last few weeks, I always feel that pressure at the top of my head, and it's to the point that I end up taking them off, and I know I cannot wear them for a long time. In comparison to the mesh headband on the AirPods Max, I've figured out how to wear these headphones where they are so comfortable that I barely feel them on my head, and it really is the bar of comfort for me when it comes to over-ear headphones. So these just do not match up, and no matter how I've adjusted them, I cannot get them to have the same level of comfort, which is a real shame because otherwise I really like these headphones. All of the small design touches from the app to the headphone sounds when you put them on, when you put them into pairing mode, I think is really well considered, and I love the fact that Nothing has such a clear and distinct identity and perspective for the brand. The level of detail that they put into all these products even comes through in the case, because the case is actually a really thin felt type case that's a lot like the Sonos Ace case, and it even has a very similar zipper. But the inside of it perfectly has a molding for the headphones with the pocket for cables up front. And you might wonder, right at the front, it has this indent, which I thought was interesting because in the back, it has a bar indent. So when you actually go to pick up these headphones, your thumb perfectly fits in the front indent, and then your fingers can fit in the back one, and it actually makes it really comfortable to hold while still being their minimal technical branding. One thing that is really annoying is for whatever reason, when you put the headphones in the case, they do lay perfectly flat like this, but when I take them out, like when this case is on a table and it's in front of me, and I take them out, I cannot unfold the headphones and put them on because that would be backwards. I actually have to flip them and then the controls are on the right-hand side, and that fits great. The only way you can tell which headphone is correct is actually by looking at the little written marker on the inside, which is very pretty, but it is very minimal and it is very hard to see in most lighting situations. So putting these headphones on and off, I've never quite gotten used to. And this whole problem could be solved if these headphones could actually go 180 when they turn, but they can't. They can only go about halfway. So I can't do anything different. It's just a weird design flaw. A lot of commentary from YouTubers I've seen is that they find them kind of ugly because they are not a fan of the design. And my only response to that is the AirPods Max are kind of objectively ugly, but so many people wear them and they become so much more popular that now they are almost seen as a fashion accessory, especially depending on the color that you get. And I think Nothing is in a very similar boat with these headphones because while they might not be everybody's cup of tea, they definitely are visually distinct. And nowadays, when almost all tech looks the same, I understand the perspective that tech is an accessory, especially something like over-ear headphones, and you need to do something to make yourself stand out. Sound quality is just not gonna cut it anymore. But to recap, the sound profile and the quality of these headphones is actually one of my favorite that I've ever tested. So for $300, would I buy them? Yes, except for the fit, so no. I really have no problem with anything else with these headphones. I think that they are a really good value for what they are in a very crowded market, but at least for my head, I cannot wear them for a long period of time, so they're not going to work for me long term. If you guys have questions about the Nothing Headphone 1, please let me know. If you want me to test out any other Nothing product, I am actually really curious to test out their Android phones because they have the most interesting visual style and UX of any Android phone that I've seen, and I think it could be fun to try and test switching from an iPhone for a week to see what that experience would be like from a brand that clearly has a lot of thoughts about how tech should be presented and what role it should play in your life. And of course, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. And if you made it to this point of the video, go ahead and hit subscribe. I make videos like this every single week that you can see Friday afternoons. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.